Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're feeling overwhelmed, constantly comparing yourself to others, or struggling with that nagging feeling of not being enough, then you're in the right place. Today, we're tackling a topic that resonates deeply with so many of us: self-acceptance. And we're doing it through the lens of the incredibly insightful book, You're Not Enough, and That's Okay. This isn't just another self-help book. It's a gentle, reassuring guide that helps us dismantle the unrealistic expectations society places on us. It challenges the pervasive myth that we need to be perfect, flawlessly successful, and constantly achieving to be worthy of love and happiness. The truth is, that's a lie. A beautiful, liberating lie we're going to unpack together today. You're not enough, and that's okay, offers a refreshing perspective, reminding us that our imperfections are not flaws, but rather what makes us uniquely beautiful and wonderfully human. It's a journey of self-discovery, a celebration of our individuality, and a powerful reminder that we are enough exactly as we are. In this video, we'll be taking a deep dive into the book, chapter by chapter. We'll summarize the core message of each chapter, explore the key takeaways, and, most importantly, we'll connect these concepts to real-life experiences. I'll share some personal stories and reflections, and I encourage you to do the same in the comments below. Let's create a supportive community where we can learn and grow together. So grab your favorite beverage, get comfy, and let's embark on this empowering journey of self-acceptance. Let's explore how we can finally let go of the pressure to be enough and embrace the incredible, imperfect, and absolutely beautiful people we are. Chapter 1. The Lie of Self-Sufficiency. Let's talk about Chapter 1, The Lie of Self-Sufficiency. This chapter dives into a really interesting point. The phrase "you are enough," while seemingly empowering, can sometimes become a heavy burden. Why? Because it subtly implies we need to do it all alone. We're told to be strong, independent, and self-sufficient. But that's not how life works. We're not meant to carry everything on our own shoulders. The author, Ali, beautifully challenges this idea. She reminds us that true strength isn't about pretending we don't need help. It's about recognizing our limitations and leaning on something bigger than ourselves, be it our faith, our support network, or simply acknowledging that we all need help sometimes. Trying to be perfectly self-sufficient is a recipe for burnout and exhaustion. It sets us up for failure because it's simply not realistic. Think about it. We live in a world that glorifies independence, often portraying vulnerability as weakness. But vulnerability isn't weakness, it's courage. It's the strength to admit we need help, to ask for support, and to accept that we're not alone in this journey. Let me share a personal story. As a single mom, there have been countless times I felt the crushing weight of needing to be everything to my son, TJ. I juggled work, childcare, household chores, and all the other responsibilities that come with being a parent. There were moments, many moments, where I felt completely overwhelmed, like I was drowning in a sea of to-dos. I tried to be strong, to be enough on my own, to show TJ that I could handle it all. But the truth is, I couldn't. And that's okay. There were times I simply couldn't keep everything together. My patience wore thin, I felt exhausted, and I struggled to keep a positive attitude. It was then that I realized the immense power of asking for help. I leaned on my family, friends, and most importantly, my faith. I allowed myself to be vulnerable, to admit that I needed support. And you know what? That act of surrender, of letting go of the pressure to be perfectly self-sufficient, was incredibly freeing. It brought me peace, renewed my energy, and strengthened my relationships. It allowed me to be a better mother and a happier person. The lesson here is simple but profound. Stop striving to be everything to everyone. Stop trying to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. Instead, lean on something bigger than yourself. Surround yourself with a supportive community Nurture your faith and allow yourself to accept help when you need it. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength, wisdom, and self-awareness. It's a sign that you understand you are part of a larger, loving whole. Chapter 2: The Trap of Self-Love. Let's explore. Chapter 2: The Trap of Self-Love. This chapter tackles a really interesting and often misunderstood topic: the sometimes confusing relationship between self-love and selfishness. We live in a culture that constantly emphasizes self-love, and rightfully so. Self-care and self-acceptance are crucial for our well-being. But Allie points out that focusing only on self-love can sometimes lead to a kind of inward-focused existence that misses the mark. The chapter argues that while self-love is essential, it's not the ultimate goal. True, lasting fulfillment comes from something much bigger than ourselves, from connecting with others, contributing to something meaningful, and experiencing the joy of selfless service. Think about it. If all we focus on is our own happiness, our own needs, and our own desires, we risk becoming isolated and missing out on the profound joy of connection and purpose. This isn't to say that self-love is bad. It's the foundation. It's like building a house. You need a solid foundation before you can build the walls, the roof, and everything else. Self-love provides that solid base. It gives us the strength and stability to reach out to others and contribute to the world. But it's not the finished product. Let me share a personal experience. There was a time when I believed that focusing solely on my own happiness would somehow magically solve all my problems. I prioritized my own needs above all else, thinking that if I just took care of myself, everything would fall into place. But I discovered that true joy didn't come from that inward focus. It came from giving. It came from spending quality time with TJ, supporting my sister in her business ventures, and creating content that helps others feel seen and heard. These acts of service, these moments of connection, filled my life with a sense of purpose and meaning that I never found by solely focusing on myself. Loving myself is a crucial part of the journey, but it's not the destination. The destination is a life filled with love, connection, and purpose. A life where self-love empowers us to reach out to others and contribute to something larger than ourselves. The lesson here? Find the balance. Nurture your self-care, but don't let it become a cage. Remember that true fulfillment comes from a beautiful dance between caring for ourselves and caring for others. It's not just about me, it's about we. It's about recognizing that our happiness is intertwined with the happiness of those around us, and that our lives are richer and more meaningful when we share our love and our gifts with the world. Chapter 3: The Illusion of Control. Let's unpack. Chapter 3: The Illusion of Control. This chapter tackles a very relatable struggle: our tendency to believe we're in control of everything in our lives. We make plans, set goals, and try to meticulously orchestrate our days, weeks, and even years. But life, as we all know, has a funny way of throwing curveballs. This chapter gently reminds us that life is inherently unpredictable. There are so many things outside our control: unexpected illnesses, economic downturns, relationship changes, natural disasters. The list goes on. And clinging to the illusion of control, trying to micromanage every aspect of our lives, only leads to stress, anxiety, and ultimately, disappointment. The key takeaway from this chapter isn't about giving up entirely. It's about shifting our focus. It's about recognizing what we can control and letting go of what we can't. It's about accepting the inherent uncertainty of life and finding peace in the midst of chaos. This is something I've learned firsthand. There was a time when bills piled up unexpectedly, and my salary was delayed. Despite meticulous budgeting and planning, things were simply out of my hands. It was a terrifying experience. I felt a surge of panic, a desperate need to regain control. I spent sleepless nights worrying, trying to figure out how to fix the situation, and beating myself up for not anticipating the problem. But eventually, I realized that spiraling into anxiety wasn't helpful. It didn't change the situation. It only made me feel worse. So I shifted my focus. I concentrated on what I could control, working hard, seeking help when needed, and communicating openly with those involved. And I learned to trust the process, even when it was messy and uncertain. I reminded myself that things rarely go exactly as planned, and that's okay. It's in those unexpected twists and turns that we often find opportunities for growth, resilience, and unexpected blessings. The lesson here is to let go of the need to control everything. It's about embracing the uncertainty, trusting the process, and focusing on what's within your sphere of influence. It's about cultivating resilience, adaptability, and faith that things will work out, even when the path ahead is unclear. It's about finding peace in the present moment, regardless of what the future holds. Chapter 4: The Myth of Following Your Heart. This chapter challenges a piece of common advice we often hear: follow your heart. While it sounds romantic and empowering, Allie cautions against taking this advice too literally. Our hearts, she argues, can be easily misled by fleeting emotions, impulsive desires, and even fear. Relying solely on our feelings to make decisions can lead to regrettable choices and even destructive paths. The chapter emphasizes the importance of grounding our decisions in truth, wisdom, and careful consideration. It's not about ignoring our feelings. It's about understanding that emotions are valuable data points, not the sole compass guiding our lives. We need to learn to discern between genuine intuition and impulsive desires, between what feels good in the moment and what aligns with our long-term goals and values. This is something I've learned the hard way. I've made impulsive decisions in the past, driven by a wave of excitement or a fear of missing out, only to regret them later. One example that stands out is my investment in a high-tech live streaming tool. I was swept up in the hype, convinced it would instantly boost my content creation and catapult my channel to success. It felt like the right thing to do, a decision fueled by my heart's desire for growth and recognition. The reality? The tool was expensive, complicated, and ultimately didn't align with my long-term goals or content strategy. It was a significant financial setback, and more importantly, it wasted valuable time and energy that could have been spent on more productive activities. The initial excitement quickly faded, replaced by regret and frustration. It was a painful but valuable lesson. This experience taught me the importance of pausing, reflecting, and critically evaluating my decisions before acting on impulse. It's not about suppressing my feelings, it's about understanding them, acknowledging them, and then using reason and wisdom to guide my choices. It's about asking myself, does this align with my values? Does this support my long-term goals? Is this a sustainable and responsible choice? The lesson, therefore, is that feelings are important, but they shouldn't be the sole drivers of our decisions. Let wisdom, careful consideration, and a long-term perspective guide your path. Learn to listen to your heart, but also to your head. Let your wisdom be your compass, not just your emotions. Let's delve into Chapter 5. The problem with "you deserve it all." This chapter tackles the often unacknowledged issue of entitlement, that insidious belief that we're somehow owed everything we want, simply because we exist or because we've worked hard. While hard work is essential, Allie argues that a sense of entitlement can be a significant obstacle to true fulfillment and lasting success. The chapter challenges us to replace this mindset of entitlement with gratitude and humility. It's not about downplaying our achievements or diminishing our efforts. It's about shifting our perspective. It's about recognizing that life isn't always fair, that success isn't guaranteed, and that even when we work incredibly hard, there are factors outside our control that influence outcomes. This is a lesson I've learned firsthand as a small business owner. There have been times when I felt a strong sense of entitlement to success. After all, I'd poured my heart and soul into my business, working long hours, making sacrifices, and constantly striving for excellence. It felt like I deserved to see my hard work translate into significant financial rewards and widespread recognition. But the truth is, life doesn't always work that way. There were periods of slow growth, unexpected setbacks, and challenges that felt unfair. There were moments of doubt and frustration where I questioned my abilities and wondered if I was even cut out for this. It was during these times that I realized the limitations of an entitled mindset. Focusing on what I felt I was owed only fueled my negativity and hindered my ability to adapt and overcome obstacles. The turning point came when I shifted my focus from entitlement to gratitude. I started appreciating the small victories, the lessons learned from setbacks, and the unwavering support of my loved ones. I acknowledged the privilege I had in pursuing my dreams, recognizing that many others don't have the same opportunities. This shift in perspective brought a sense of humility and resilience. It allowed me to approach challenges with renewed energy and a more positive attitude. The lesson here is to consciously shift from an "I deserve" mentality to an "I'm grateful" one. Gratitude isn't about ignoring your efforts or minimizing your achievements. It's about appreciating the journey, acknowledging the blessings along the way, and approaching your goals with humility and perseverance. Gratitude opens doors that entitlement never will. Doors to resilience, collaboration, and a deeper sense of fulfillment. Let's talk about the final chapter of our exploration of You're Not Enough and That's Okay. Chapter 6, The Truth About Identity. This chapter delves into a fundamental question. Who are you really? Where do you find your sense of self-worth and purpose? Ali challenges the common tendency to define ourselves by our achievements, our relationships, our possessions, or even our perceived strengths and weaknesses. She argues that these are all external factors, constantly shifting and changing, and therefore unreliable foundations for our identity. True, lasting identity, she suggests, is found in something deeper, something unchanging and unshakable. This concept really resonated with me. For a long time, I defined myself primarily by my roles: single mom, business owner, content creator, virtual assistant. These roles were, and are, incredibly important to me. They shaped my daily life, consumed much of my time and energy, and provided a sense of purpose. But I realized that these roles, while significant, didn't define the core of who I am. My worth wasn't solely determined by how well I performed in these roles, by how successful my business was, or by how many subscribers I had on my channel. My value as a person wasn't contingent on external validation or accomplishments. There were times when I felt immense pressure to succeed in these roles, to be the perfect mother, the successful entrepreneur, the engaging content creator. When I fell short of my own expectations, and let's be honest, everyone falls short sometimes, my sense of self-worth plummeted. I felt inadequate, like a failure. My identity felt fragile and threatened. The shift happened when I began to root my identity in something far more profound and enduring: my faith. It wasn't about religious dogma or rigid adherence to rules. It was about connecting with something larger than myself, something unchanging and unconditionally loving. This connection provided a deep sense of worth and belonging that wasn't tied to my performance or achievements. It gave me a solid foundation, a sense of purpose that transcended the ups and downs of daily life. It reminded me that my value as a human being is inherent, not earned. The lesson, therefore, is this: your worth isn't defined by what you do, what you achieve, or what others think of you. It's found in the core of your being, in your inherent worth as a human being. Find that unshakable foundation, that source of unconditional love and acceptance, and build your life upon it. This will bring you a sense of peace, purpose, and resilience that will sustain you through life's inevitable challenges. So there you have it, folks. We've journeyed through the insightful pages of You're Not Enough, and That's Okay. And what a journey it's been. This book offers a powerful message of liberation. A reminder that we don't have to carry the weight of the world on our shoulders. We don't have to strive for impossible perfection or pretend we're self-sufficient superheroes. The core message is simple yet profound. By letting go of that toxic self-reliance, by embracing humility and vulnerability, and by grounding ourselves in something greater than ourselves, whether it's faith, nature, strong relationships, or a sense of purpose, we can find true freedom, lasting peace, and genuine joy. If you've ever felt the crushing pressure to be enough, to constantly measure up to unrealistic expectations, I hope this summary has offered you a comforting message of release. Remember, you don't have to do it all alone. You don't have to be perfect. You are enough exactly as you are. Embrace your imperfections, celebrate your strengths, and let go of the burden of trying to be someone you're not. And if you've already read the book, I'd love to hear from you. What was your favorite chapter? What lesson resonated most deeply with you? Share your thoughts and reflections in the comments below. Let's create a supportive community where we can learn and grow together. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful, subscribe to the channel for more uplifting content, and share this video with anyone who might need to hear this message of hope and self-acceptance. And that's a wrap! Don't forget, you are amazing. You are enough just as you are, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep shining.